Everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is. Sometimes life feels like you're watching a movie about yourself, but not quite the version you show to the world. Behind the scenes, there's a part of you that's too intense, too ambitious, or too quirky to let out. This hidden self, your shadow, often seems like a personal antagonist. But what if embracing this shadow could unlock a more authentic and fulfilling life? As we delve into understanding and integrating these hidden parts today, drawing on concepts from Carl Jung and Stoic philosophy, remember this journey is about self-reclamation. It's about steering our lives toward genuine fulfillment by conquering the internal chaos the Stoics spoke about. If this resonates with you, or you're curious about where this exploration can lead, hitting that subscribe button isn't just a click. It's a commitment to more discoveries like this. And stick with me through this video. Don't let a moment slip by, as every part of our discussion is crucial in crafting a more empowered self. So, let's explore what these shadows have to teach us and how acknowledging them can change our path. What's the shadow self? In our quest to truly know ourselves, there's an intriguing, often overlooked aspect that many of us may not even be aware of: the shadow self. This term, first coined by the psychologist Carl Jung, refers to the hidden side of our personality, those parts we choose not to see or show. It's like every piece of ourselves that we've ever felt the need to hide or suppress because we fear it's too much, not good enough, or perhaps simply because it doesn't align with who we think we should be. This shadow is not just a repository for negative traits. It also holds unacknowledged strengths and unfulfilled potentials. The concept of the shadow self can be startling yet profoundly enlightening. Consider for a moment those fleeting thoughts you've had that don't seem to align with your usual self-perception. Maybe it's a sudden flare of anger, a hint of jealousy, or an unusual daydream that feels out of character. These aren't just random thoughts. They're messages from your shadow, clues to understanding the fuller scope of who you are. By examining these thoughts, we can start to see the contours of our hidden self, bringing to light what we've kept in the dark. Now, why bother with this introspection? Stoicism teaches us the value of self-knowledge as the path to virtue and personal freedom. The Stoics believed in living in harmony with nature, including human nature, and that means embracing all aspects of oneself. By confronting and integrating our shadow, we not only become more whole, but also more resilient and adaptable to life's challenges. We come to understand that our shadows are not our enemies, but integral parts of our being that, when acknowledged, can lead to greater personal growth and self-acceptance. Integrating the shadow isn't about giving free rein to our baser impulses. Rather, it's about recognizing and transforming them. Let's say you've always thought of yourself as agreeable, but deep down, there's a competitive streak you suppress because it doesn't fit your self-image. By acknowledging this competitive side, you can channel it productively into areas like sports, business, or personal hobbies, using it to drive you forward rather than letting it sneak up on you in potentially destructive ways. The process of facing the shadow can be uncomfortable. It requires a level of honesty and courage that many find daunting. Yet, it's in this discomfort that we find the opportunity for true transformation. Just like the Stoics' practice of daily reflection, examining their actions and motives to better align with their values, we too can use the knowledge of our shadow to steer our lives more authentically. Every time we shine light on a previously hidden part of ourselves, we reduce its power to control us unconsciously. Understanding our shadow can also improve our relationships with others. Often, what irritates us about others can be a reflection of our own shadow traits. If someone's assertiveness annoys you, Could it be that you're not allowing yourself to be assertive when needed? Recognizing and integrating these traits can lead to healthier interactions and more meaningful connections. Facing your shadow. Confronting the parts of ourselves that we've turned away from is no small feat. It's like walking into a dark room inside our minds where we've stored all the things we didn't want to deal with. These can be fears, desires, regrets, or even talents we've buried because we or others deemed them undesirable. Facing your shadow means turning on the light in that room and really looking around, understanding what's there and why. It's about acknowledging that these hidden aspects are not just quirks or flaws, but integral parts of who we are. This process, while daunting, is incredibly powerful. Imagine for a moment that every time you've felt a rush of anger or a pang of jealousy, you've pushed those feelings aside. Maybe you told yourself it wasn't right to feel that way, or it wasn't who you wanted to be. But these emotions, as intense and uncomfortable as they might be, are signals from our shadow, calling for our attention. By facing them, we can start to unravel the complex tapestry of our personality and gain insights that are crucial for personal growth. When we begin to confront our shadow, it's essential to do so with compassion and patience. This is not about self-criticism or judgment. Instead, think of it as meeting an old friend you've lost touch with. There might be awkwardness or tension at first, but there's also the potential for reconciliation and understanding. You might discover, for example, that your persistent self-doubt is actually a form of protection against failure, a way to keep you in your comfort zone. Recognizing this can empower you to take calculated risks, to grow beyond the limits you've unconsciously set for yourself. Moreover, facing your shadow can lead to a profound sense of freedom. Many of us carry around the weight of unexamined fears and unacknowledged desires that can dictate our choices and shape our lives in ways we don't realize. By bringing these into the light, we take away their power to control us from the shadows. This is a key aspect of Stoic freedom. Freedom not only from external influences, but from those internal pressures that we impose on ourselves. This journey towards self-awareness helps build authentic relationships. When you understand your own complexities, you're better equipped to understand and accept the complexities in others. This fosters deeper connections and a greater capacity for empathy as you recognize the shared human struggle to balance the many parts of our psyche. Embracing and integrating. Embracing every part of who we are, even those bits we've long ignored or hidden, isn't just about acknowledgement. It's about integration. This is where we take all those discoveries from confronting our shadow and start weaving them into the fabric of our daily lives. Think of it as updating an old house. You wouldn't just identify the weak spots and walk away. No, you'd fix them, maybe even improve them, turning them into strengths that enhance the whole structure. In this integration process, it's vital to approach with both wisdom and intentionality. Like the Stoics, we must use our rational minds to discern how these traits can serve us and our communities better. It's not about letting these darker, more hidden aspects run wild, but about channeling them in ways that are constructive rather than destructive. For instance, if you discover a hidden aggression, instead of suppressing it or letting it explode, you might channel it into competitive sports or advocate passionately for causes you believe in. This practice can profoundly shift how we interact with the world. By integrating our shadow, we align more closely with the Stoic idea of living in accordance with nature, our true nature, which includes all our facets, not just the socially acceptable ones. It's about creating a harmony within ourselves that reflects outward in our actions and interactions. When we stop fighting parts of ourselves, we find a greater peace and energy to devote to living fully and effectively. Moreover, integrating your shadow can unleash creativity and innovation. Often it's those quirky, suppressed parts of ourselves that hold the key to unique perspectives and solutions. By allowing them room to breathe, we can bring fresh ideas to our work and personal projects. It's like letting light into a room that's been dark for too long. Suddenly, you see things you couldn't before, colors and patterns that inspire new ways of thinking and being. This integration also helps us deal with challenges more robustly. When we know our darker sides well, we're less likely to be derailed by them. We can anticipate how we might react under stress and plan accordingly. This is the essence of Stoic resilience, preparing the mind for whatever life throws our way by understanding ourselves thoroughly. This deep self-knowledge allows us to remain steadfast, not because we're impervious to hardship, but because we're intimately acquainted with our inner workings. Embracing and integrating our shadow helps us avoid the pitfalls of hypocrisy. It's easy to judge others harshly for traits we refuse to acknowledge in ourselves. By recognizing and integrating these traits, we develop a more compassionate viewpoint, recognizing that we all struggle and often share the very flaws we criticize in others. This leads to more authentic interactions and less internal conflict, as we no longer need to maintain a facade of perfection. Take responsibility. Taking ownership of every aspect of our personality, including the darker, less visible parts, is a profound step toward genuine self-improvement and personal integrity. When we begin to truly take responsibility for our actions, feelings, and thoughts, we embrace the idea that we are the architects of our own character and destiny. This accountability isn't about self-blame. Rather, it's about empowering ourselves to respond to life's challenges with maturity and wisdom. In the philosophy of Stoicism, the emphasis on personal responsibility is pivotal. The Stoics believed that while we might not control external events, we can certainly control our responses to them. This control begins with understanding the full spectrum of who we are, shadows included. It's about recognizing that our reactions, anger, impatience, envy, are not just spontaneous emotional outbursts, but are deeply rooted in parts of ourselves that we might not have fully acknowledged or understood. By taking responsibility for these parts, we engage in what the Stoics viewed as the essence of virtue, living in accordance with reason. If you discover, for instance, a tendency towards envy, rather than acting on it or suppressing it, you acknowledge it as part of your human experience. From there, you can start to ask important questions. Why do I feel this way? What is lacking in my own life that makes me feel envious of others? This line of inquiry can lead to more self-awareness and, ultimately, more productive behaviors. Moreover, taking responsibility involves a commitment to personal growth. It means being honest about where you are in your life, who you are, and how you can improve. It involves setting aside excuses and facing the sometimes uncomfortable truths about our motivations and desires. This isn't just about self-discipline, it's about self-evolution. As we integrate our shadow selves, we may find that our goals and aspirations shift to reflect a deeper understanding of our true capabilities and desires. This approach also fosters a more authentic relationship with oneself and with others. When you take responsibility for your shadow, you reduce the risk of projecting those denied parts onto others, which can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts. For example, if you recognize your own struggles with insecurity, you're less likely to perceive others' actions as personal threats. Thus, responsibility leads to clearer perceptions and healthier interactions. Taking responsibility for one's shadow also means embracing the role of an active participant in your life rather than a passive observer. This is a liberating aspect of Stoicism that encourages us to proactively engage with our circumstances, to craft the life we want. Each decision, each acknowledgement of a shadow trait becomes an act of creation, shaping our identity and our path forward. Harmonizing your traits. When we start to recognize all the different facets of our personality, the next step is learning how to bring them together in harmony. This isn't about flattening our character into a single note, but rather about orchestrating a complex symphony of traits that makes us uniquely who we are. Harmonizing our traits means acknowledging and integrating our shadows in such a way that they contribute positively to our overall being. The art of balancing these diverse traits is reminiscent of the Stoic practice of living in accordance with nature. Stoics strive to understand the nature of the world and themselves, and then live in a way that aligns with this understanding. Similarly, when we harmonize our traits, we aim to align our internal world, our impulses, emotions, and capabilities with our external actions and interactions. It's about finding a middle path where every part of us has a role and none dominate to the detriment of others. For example, if you discover that you have a shadow side that is incredibly ambitious, this trait doesn't need to be suppressed or let loose without guidance. Instead, it can be balanced with your more cooperative, team-oriented qualities. The ambition drives you to achieve and excel, while your cooperative side ensures that you remain connected and responsive to those around you. This balance ensures that your drive doesn't trample over others, but instead is channeled into leading and inspiring them. Harmonizing also involves turning what might initially seem like weaknesses into strengths. Perhaps you've always seen your sensitivity as a liability, a shadow aspect that makes you vulnerable. However, when harmonized, this sensitivity can become a powerful tool for empathy and understanding, enhancing your relationships and allowing you to navigate social interactions more adeptly. By adjusting your perspective, you transform a hidden trait into a visible asset. Moreover, the Stoic concept of self-control plays a significant role in this process. Self-control isn't about repression, it's about appropriate expression. It means not letting any single aspect of your personality overpower the rest. When you feel anger, for instance, self-control helps you express this feeling in a way that is assertive rather than aggressive, ensuring that your anger is heard and addressed without causing harm. This is the essence of harmonizing. It's knowing when and how to let parts of yourself come forward. This journey of integration is deeply personal and requires a nuanced understanding of oneself. It asks that you become both the conductor and the orchestra of your own life, sensitive to the dynamics of your inner world and how they play out in your external reality. Each trait you possess is like a musical note that, when played in harmony with others, creates a more beautiful and compelling melody. The process is ongoing and dynamic. As we grow and change, so too do the ways in which our traits need to be balanced and expressed. Life continually presents us with new challenges and opportunities that call for different aspects of our personality to come forward. The key is to remain attuned to this internal music, adjusting as necessary to maintain a harmony that resonates with who we are and aspire to be. Keeping the sword sharp. Maintaining a keen edge on our self-awareness and personal growth requires continuous effort, much like the way a skilled swordsman must regularly sharpen their blade. This ongoing process ensures that our understanding of ourselves remains clear and precise, enabling us to navigate life's complexities with wisdom and adaptability. The practice of keeping our self-knowledge sharp is not just a one-time achievement. It's a lifelong endeavor that demands dedication and regular reflection. In the tradition of Stoicism, the importance of consistent self-reflection is emphasized as a tool for maintaining moral and mental clarity. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius committed to daily meditations, thoughtful reflections on their behaviors, thoughts, and emotions, which help them understand their actions and align themselves more closely with their values. In our own journey, this regular introspection helps us remain intimately connected with our inner selves, particularly the aspects that are easy to overlook or suppress, the shadow sides. Regularly engaging with our shadow self allows us to notice any new tendencies or recurring patterns that might emerge as our lives and circumstances change. For instance, if you find yourself feeling resentful when you're usually quite accommodating, this might signal an aspect of your shadow coming to the fore, indicating perhaps that your boundaries are being pushed or your needs are not being met. Recognizing such patterns helps us address them constructively before they lead to bigger issues. Moreover, keeping the sword sharp involves not just passive observation, but active engagement with our findings. It requires us to ask tough questions and be honest with the answers we find. Are there parts of myself that I'm still hiding from? What fears am I allowing to hold me back? This level of inquiry can be challenging, but it is essential for true growth and understanding. It allows us to make informed choices about how to act, ensuring that our actions are in harmony with our deepest values and beliefs. This practice also enhances our resilience. The more we understand our inner workings, the better prepared we are to face life's challenges. We can anticipate our reactions to stress or conflict and manage them more effectively. This doesn't mean we won't experience difficulty or discomfort. Rather, it means we're better equipped to handle these situations when they arise. Our preparedness isn't just about dealing with external challenges, but also about managing our internal responses, keeping our composure and maintaining our integrity even when tested. This ongoing engagement with our shadow can deepen our compassion, both for ourselves and for others. By continuously confronting and accepting our own complexities, we're more likely to extend that understanding to others, recognizing that everyone has their own struggles and shadows. This mutual recognition can foster a greater sense of connection and empathy within our relationships, enhancing our social interactions and contributing to a more understanding and supportive community. In keeping with Stoic principles, we should approach this continuous self-reflection not as a burden, but as an empowering ritual, a way to keep our mental and emotional blades sharp and ready. It's a commitment to ourselves to live consciously, fully, and honestly. By integrating this practice into our daily lives, we not only stay true to ourselves, but also forge a path of genuine fulfillment and wisdom. As we wrap up our exploration today, remember that understanding and integrating your shadow is not just about uncovering hidden parts of yourself. It's about embarking on a path towards a more authentic and fulfilled life. Stoicism teaches us the value of self-knowledge, not just as a philosophical exercise, but as a practical tool for living wisely and well. This journey we've taken together today is just the beginning. Keep reflecting, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep growing. Thank you for spending this time with me and for being a part of our Stoic journal. I hope our discussion has sparked some curiosity and inspired you to look deeper into your own character and motivations. As you continue on your path, remember that each step of self-awareness adds to the strength and clarity of your life's narrative. Before you go, make sure to check out one of the suggested videos on the screen. They're designed to further help you explore the fascinating aspects of Stoicism and personal growth. Keep diving deep, keep reflecting, and let's continue this incredible journey together. Thank you for joining me today. See you soon.